A beautiful, good crypto morning to everybody. As you can see, we have a small change in the setup here. Lily was supposed to be the moderator, but she is not feeling well. She was eating too much glass, as everybody currently in the crypto space. So greetings, Lily. Hope you're well soon. I have an amazing panel here with me, and let's kick it off. I would like to ask Maggie to start with an introduction.
Thank you. Yeah, to cue me first. So my name's Maggie Wu, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Crypto Group and also Galactic Holding Company. So I'm a little bit complicated because I have two companies. One is venture capital, also incubator, that we invest a lot of projects for the past 4 years. We founded in 2017, and we invest over 100 projects. And from last year, we started invest a lot of projects on Solana too. Another company that I have is called Galactic Holdings, and we mainly focus on Latin market. We're building an ecosystem over there with the 3 components. One is crypto exchange called Maxo, MEXO. One is largest in Latin, and the other one is a stable coin, which is the first and only one stable coin in the pack 2 pesos. And we're also building a wallet, still under development. We're coming soon in the end of this year. So that's mainly the 2 companies that I have, and thank you.
Awesome. Let's. You're currently the most attractive man in the room.
We take offense to that.
He's hiring and educating Rust developers.
That's attractive.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Dima. I'm not from Bridge Tower Capital, but if you want to give me a share, I don't mind. I'm a CEO and co-founder of cybersecurity company Hacking. We're at the market more than 4 years, and we are based in Ukraine. We are honored to be there. Land of developers, land of cryptocurrency users. According to chain analysis, Ukraine is one of the adoption of cryptocurrency in Ukraine is the #1, and we're helping Solana to find developers to convert them to Rust. I would like to share some information about how we do it. You want it now, maybe later? It's a difficult task, but someone needs to do it. Someone needs to educate people. Someone needs to explain why blockchain has a potential, why they need to start working in it, and this is our task.
Thanks a lot. This is super important. I think developers are the most scarce resource at the moment. So I think you're doing an amazing job. Leo, you're next.
Okay, my name is Musica. I'm the founder and managing partner at Eden Block. We're a crypto VC that started operating about 4.5 years ago. We're based in London and Tel Aviv. We are also partners of Solana when it comes to funding Israeli teams building on Solana. Israel is a pretty interesting region when it comes to developers as well. Maybe not like Kiev in terms of numbers, but really interesting stuff. And I'm just really lucky to be here speaking to all of you guys. So thanks.
Awesome to have you. David?
Yeah, hey everyone, it's David here, the founder of OP Crypto, a newly formed venture capital firm. I was previously leading global strategy and investments at Huobi, the large exchange based out of Asia, and then also the internal incubation acceleration arm. So just launched the venture firm to better facilitate efforts to help some of the best projects globally to access, the Asia market, work with the exchanges and have, many people on the ground in Asia to help, do the branding, marketing, and go to market.
Awesome, thanks a lot. So also quickly about myself and Bridge Tower. So Bridge Tower is a global private equity firm. We have offices in the US, we have offices in Switzerland, also in Singapore and London very soon. We're doing equity investments like a lot of private equity companies, but we also switched heavily now to token investments. And by investing in tokens, we realized we need to stake them. So we are currently building a huge infrastructure in Switzerland. We are operating validator nodes for Ethereum 2, a lot of Cosmos projects, including Terra, Persistence. And since actually this week, we started our first Solana validator nodes. And we are super proud about that setup because it's banking grade, so it's proper for institutional investors. And what we are also very proud of, it's completely based on renewable energies. So it's only hydropower, and it's one of our strongest hopes, wishes, and goals to make the whole blockchain industry more or less sustainable by running validator nodes only by renewable energies. And last but not least, we have we're calling it our private activities arm. So as you know, a lot of foundations, they are non-profit. They are struggling doing real-world business. And that's, again, the narrative why we are a private equity firm. So we are trying to help these foundations doing real-world businesses. So we are their partners to grow, at the end, their platform and their business. A great example is Helium. We are super proud to now to manufacture helium miners in Brazil. We're also working on a coordinated rollout all over Latin America. We are a proud partner of the Solana Foundation. We are running the Solana European Ecosystem Fund. So bring your projects to us. And then we're doing a lot of activities currently more on the traditional side, right? So we are close to institutional investors and large investment banks. So we are currently working on permission markets. So we are strong believers of decentralization, but we all know that regulations sooner or later will come. So we see the dark clouds on the horizon. And we are currently working on permission markets together with our partner Securitize. And we hope to bring these regulated these ring-fence environments very soon also to Solana. And talking about, at the end, regulated environments and markets, we're pretty sure that we have different regions for Solana. And I would like to ask you to talk a little bit about your regions. We have Israel, we have Eastern Europe, we have Latin America, and we have Asia. So here we have the Solana world at the end. And starting with Israel.
Okay, so actually that's a great place to start because Israel doesn't have a lot of Solana developers or a lot of Solana projects building right now, but they have incredible talent, right? So, a lot of R&D kind of centers are based in Israel for a lot of like Web 2 monolithic companies. And what we've started to see, at least so far, is that a lot of these amazing developers who are working at Amazon or Facebook or Microsoft or any of the other kind of large, I guess, technology powerhouses are actually now starting to realize the power that they have by just knowing how to build technology and knowing how to build products. And so I think, so you've got this amazing talent, and on the other side of that, you've got the complicated story of, just transacting over Ethereum, right? So a lot of people, are thinking about decentralization as a foundational property, and I agree with that, but then, there's a lot of use cases where that amount of security is just an overkill for let's say if you want to do like a micro payment system where you essentially need to pay like hundreds of dollars in gas just to run a small application or to even get something started to understand whether or not you have like product market fit. And so Solana is now starting to emerge as this like amazing solution for all these new builders who are wanting to get into the space, who want to get stuck in, but are really looking for the right tools and infrastructure to build upon. And so, yeah, I think it's now starting to kind of get to a place where we understand, okay, like all these developers are now swarming to crypto, but depending on what they're building, they're now starting to make the conscious decision of building on Solana, of building on chains or on a world that is basically multi-chain, right? And so I find that really interesting because we're now starting to understand to a more intricate level these I guess these different trade-offs that a lot of builders are starting to make. Whether we're talking about, okay, I'm going to now adopt a chain that's going to decentralize over time, or I'm going to adopt a chain that's going to be more efficient and less expensive over time, like Ethereum, right? And we're seeing basically a lot of people, especially the long tail of like use cases, go to Solana and other chains apart from Ethereum. And I think that that's a really huge opportunity for a lot of these amazing talented builders because they know products. Yeah. And so when you know a product so well or know how to build products so well, and you've got the right infrastructure to just scale at the pace of innovation. I think that Anatoly, one of the co-founders of Solana, have said that at some point. Then you're basically you're getting somewhere, right? And so we're really excited about like Israel starting to build on Solana, on other chains as well. And I think that this entire multi-chain universe is really starting to expand. And just seeing everybody here, it's like, yeah, it's obviously happening, right? So yeah, I think that's about it.
And Leo, you already brought the key message we wanted to bring in this panel, right? I think the USP of Solana is right now the low gas fees. So we see all these emerging markets, all the developers, all the businesses are currently going to Solana, as this is the major USP. Low gas fees, you can easily build and scale your business.
Right.
And this is super important. Yeah. David.
Oh, wow.
I'm switching. I need to. Sorry for. I have a quick question. China and the ban.
Sure.
So, China is a super important region for everybody, right? So, how do you currently see what's going on?
Just giving me all the tough questions.
Yeah.
And just jumping right into it. But yeah, I mean, happy to share my thoughts about China. I myself have spent the past 10 years in China, not only at Huobi, but in traditional finance before, and even launching and exiting a startup for myself. So really understand the market. Like, it's heavily regulated, but at the same time, the government really wants to protect its user base and the massive growth that's happening within the China markets. So I think with the China ban right now, much of the ban is not necessarily on innovation itself, but like it's more so for the monetary control efforts, with the looking to make a better effort in controlling the money outflow from China. So that means like OTC, a lot of the trading efforts, a lot of the leverage. But I think ultimately China is just looking to protect its retail consumers and investors. It's like similar and following track of the US, where there's security laws, where there's things that you can and cannot do, and that's very clear cut. In China, everything is still very much a gray area. I think they're very much shutting things down a little bit to better figure out how to govern the space, but at the same time putting the right frameworks in place so that startups in the ecosystem can really know how to flourish and how to navigate, right? But I think ultimately some of these regulations opens up the doors for DeFi to really come and be adopted in Asia, because now people, instead of using like Huobi, where we essentially had the largest market share in China by far, now we're seeing more DeFi products coming through, and it opens. People are essentially forced to use some of these new DeFi protocols, DeFi primitives that are very much fit to be built on Solana, right? When you think about high throughput, low latency, low gas fees, these are all sort of the derivative markets, options, insurance, under collateralized lending, all these different new concepts that are not sort of fully unleash this potential, can be unleashed in sort of the Asia markets, where there's massive adoption. Essentially all the major trading volume comes from Asia, and that's where essentially all the biggest exchanges are, and that will sort of facilitate the new era of like Web 3.0, reinventing the financial sort of infrastructure, right?
Talking about Asia, I quickly need to take the Indian and Southeast Asia region as well. I think we see a lot of Solana hackathons at the moment, right? And I think some of the most successful are in India as well.
400, I think.
400, yeah.
Applied,
I think for the last global hackathon, we saw applications of over 3,000 developers who wanted to participate, and alone in India we had 400, 500. So India is clearly one of the hotspots at the moment in regards of Solana, and also the NFT market, which is growing. But we also need to mention Indonesia. So Indonesia is becoming a very strong market for Solana. And we all know Axie Infinity, right? So I think all the Southeast Asian regions, these play-to-earn models and these businesses, they will all migrate very soon to Solana, and we see new upcoming projects in these regions. And I think it's not only increasing the TVL in general, but it's at the end we soon need to talk about GDP. I know we really have, at the end, the global countries, the Solana ecosystem, and you have people working at the end in these virtual metaverses and earning their income there. So Indonesia, as said, India very strong, and Solana is super happy to have Jangari as a new project coming to Solana. It's the TikTok now on the decentralized land, and I think we will see more of these also Web 3.0 companies moving to Solana, building on Solana. And I quickly need to mention one of our areas we are currently supporting in. This is Akash. Akash is a decentralized compute network. So at the end, it's like AWS or Google Cloud in a decentralized world. And we are super proud to announce that we, Bridge Tower, will be a compute provider for the Akash network out of Switzerland, and again, based on renewable energies. So we are super happy to support this decentralization and building the infrastructure with a proper jurisdiction and based on renewables. And we really hope to support all the Web 3.0 companies. But coming to Eastern Europe, the hotspot of the developers.
Yes. Yeah, so first of all, I want to say, Ukraine has inherited Soviet Union math school. So we have a lot of people, very smart people. For example, Anatoly Yakovenko, he's from Odessa, but he moved early to Bay Area. But at the same time, we have inherited quite bad economy, and again, I see that this is a potential. The young people like me, okay, maybe I'm not that young, we were building careers in outsourced companies. And some of us already have families and we don't want to move, and we want to stay in Ukraine. And current young talents, all of them, they want to be in IT. We have in Ukraine 100,000 engineer graduates per year.
Oh.
It's quite a lot. And our task is to convert as much as we can into crypto. I want to share a few numbers. Because of the COVID, the IT developer market became global. 2 years ago, the senior developer salary was around 3K USD per month, and they were quite available at the market. Right now, the salaries have almost tripled. Who is a Rust developer or Rust cybersecurity engineer? Usually they don't learn it at university. Usually they are converted. From C++, a middle dev can be converted in maybe 2 weeks.
Wow.
The C++ developer average salary is around 5 to 6K in Ukraine. The Java developer can be converted from our experience in around 1 month, 2 months. And his salary is around 4 to 5K. And from our experience, we see that young graduates from the university can be learned under supervision of the already existing Rust developer. Into 4 months, they can become quite strong. And then the salary is, depends on how good are your entrepreneur skills. So this is our approach. We are going to universities. We are partnering with the deans, with them, so to give lectures about blockchain, about this industry, how it's growing. Our approximation, like if we speak about our own market, cybersecurity market, right now it's about $100 to $150 million per year, the turnover. We believe that in 2 years it will go to 1 billion market. And we need a lot of people. And in terms of our company, Hacken, I wish I can go more frequently to such beautiful countries and Portugal, to move headquarters there. But my job is to stay in Kyiv and to grow these talents and convert them into Solana. And Solana, to be honest, not Solana, to Rust. It's important because you can the Rust developer can easily write on Solidity, but Solidity guy cannot write on Rust. It's like no chance. So yeah, my job is to stay there, build teams, and invite you there and launch products and projects in home country.
Awesome, thanks a lot. I said teaching the young developers how to eat glass is super important. One additional question to you. You're also organizing a lot of hackathons, right?
Yep.
Do you currently also try to get more traditional companies, right, be it the suppliers out of the supply chain industry or healthcare, trying to bring cases to these hackathons? So are you also searching for partners out of the traditional industry?
Well, to be honest, I don't think that traditional industry understands the crypto world. So when you host a hackathon, like if you invite a partner, he needs to put a technical task. And he cannot put a technical task. He doesn't know what he wants. Like to write a distributed ledger, I don't know, for hell, I don't know, like some bullshit. It's like so we put the tasks, and we put the challenging task, but not very challenging, to find the talents. Hackathon is about finding the talents, motivate them, grab them, and give them a direction where they can develop their careers and make some money. So yeah.
Awesome. Maggie, coming to Latin America. It's one of the hottest regions at the moment. Tell us more.
Okay, yeah. So before I talk about Latin, I have to say something else because we're US-based capital, first of all. So we invest very globalized, not only Latin. And that's a little bit, unfortunately, the Latin market doesn't have a lot of developers that build on Solana yet, but I will talk about the region later to, have more information share with you guys because we're building something over there, right? So I think for past 2 years that we have been invested projects that come from Russia and Europe and South Asia, and also North America, but none of it from Latin. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a lot of good projects over there. For example, like Sandbox, even like Axie Infinity, that start getting hot in Latin, and I can see the trend is growing over there. But I think there's some insight I want to share because before I came here, I actually did a survey with all the projects that I invest, that build on Solana, and they have, just give me a lot of feedback, like how they feel about Solana. So I think I have the responsibility to share about their thoughts. And I think some of the people there from Asia, but they feel like they want to have more support from the Solana because they really want to enter this industry and this ecosystem. But they think in terms of localization, I mean, it doesn't matter which region, they want to have more support. And I think that's something that we can help. If you want different regions to grow, for example, like Hackdown, right? And I think they must have something like India, what happened, like a very localized things that they can support for those projects. And also, some of the projects, I think that they think if a foundation, for example, like SVF, and he's just only one person, and if he can support one project, and for example, somebody just tweet, and the project become the hottest spot in the world, it doesn't matter where the projects come from. But how we can leverage that, how it can be more decentralized, how it can be more fair to everyone to enter this, how we can lower the barrier. I think that's something that I think we need to start about it, and how we can help them to grow. And that is I think this is the foundation. Eventually, every place could be a hotspot. Not only just by regions, because I really want to see a decentralized world. It's not still put a border over there. I want to see the borderless. And the beauty of the DeFi, I think that this is it. And for the Latin market, I think it's quite special. They're still in very early stage. And the good thing is the regulation over there is very friendly. Just kind of like US. And the regulator are talking to authority all day long, and they are really open to talk. And the thing that we build up there, and we also bring DeFi concept, the GameFi concept, because they still like following maybe top 10 tokens on CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they are not familiar with the rest of the tokens in the world. But we're building academy over there to teaching people, to share our projects, and also do a lot of AMA and work with the KOL and ambassadors from around maybe 30-something countries, Colombia, Argentina. I think that's amazing. We're like literally go there and land over there, building stuff little by little. And I can see more and more people there get more interested in the industry and start building more things here. So I really hope one day Solana can go there and host a hackathon over there. So you will help them, help the local developers to join this world. And that probably can gain the mass adoption too. I think that region has huge potentials. Yeah.
Do you see there's a language barrier at the moment? So Latin America,
it is,
Portuguese, and
so a lot of people ask me like, you're Chinese, you live in the States, why are you going to Mexico and you're building like a huge company over there? And I say like, I'm lucky because I have a lot of good partners over there. They do speak English. At the same time, they speak Spanish native and also Portuguese. And so I have no language barrier for me and my team to communicate with them in English. But at the same time, I think they have a good knowledge and a full of the passion and to study and follow the trend and also deliver the messages to the communities. I think we did a great job over there for past 2 years. And the exchange that we built, before we go there, like all the majority of the exchanges, they're only do Bitcoin, Ethereum. But we bring like over 70 different types of trading pair over there and start introduce one by one and do a lot of AMAs. And I think communities actually appreciate it. Now like we're top 3 in Latin and number 2 in Mexico. So I think that's amazing work by my team over there, not by me, But I think I do, I think I am the bridge to help the people over there to connect with the world, connect the fund around the world and also resources and good project, no matter where the project is. But they're all interested about the market and think I'm doing something like for them I'm really happy for. Yeah.
Awesome. So then real quick, I'm covering again also Europe.
I just want to...
Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
Just touch base because I only answered the regulation question earlier, but I just want people to know and realize how big sort of the addressable market is in Asia. It's obviously a tall task. Asia is very, very big. And just speaking from past experience, when I first joined Huobi, 4 years ago, it was about 1 million users. Now we're serving over 30 million users across 170 countries. And that's almost all like just Asian people in those countries that comes from sort of the native APAC market. But also at the same time, when you look at Asia, it's sort of the paradigm shift of some of the biggest social networks, gaming companies, game studios that are coming out of the Asia market. When you look at like WeChat, Line, Kakao, all of these sort of super apps that have even hundreds of millions of users that are just utilizing all sorts of applications for their daily lives. I think ultimately with the advent of the Web3 space, it really realigns some of the social incentives and really gives more power back to the end users, contributors, content creators. Everything is really like soaked up by, all the profits are really generated by the more centralized entities. And you can see with like TikTok, when even slightly some of the more dividends and revenue sharing is given back to users, it really takes off. It really allows people to contribute in a way where they have never seen before. And back to the point where you mentioned play to earn, that meta is definitely there to stay. It came from the Philippines, but at the same time, it's not just a game to these people. It's their line of work. That's what provides food for them on the table. But at the same time, it generated a whole new industry, right? That, eventually it's not only being applied to gaming. You can earn in any sort of, if you have a skill set, if you have a talent, all the best talent around the world will no longer be hireable by some of the biggest corporations because, they're not incentively aligned. Now you're able to take ownership of a piece of internet. You're able to take equity in a protocol. You're able to have sort of some of those ownership structure where you're able to, share a piece of a bigger pie with a bigger entity that you're able to contribute and make an impact in. And that's what excites people, especially for people in Asia where, they're sort of looking to make the next leap of innovation as well as, the next level of adoption to really take that off and really capitalize. And, we as a venture firm, we really want to help not only some of the best projects here out west, navigate through the Asia market, but also, give more support like those in Asia that don't necessarily have the foundations, those support, and really try to bridge those borders and try to be helpful in sort of combining sort of these markets.
Yeah, this is awesome. Quickly to summarize, we currently see that the blend of all these industries, right? It's the entertainment industry, it's also the financial industry, and all the other traditional industries, gaming as well, and they're all blending together in one new global digital economy. Yeah. And we have the contributors, the artists all around the world, participating and contributing to this ecosystem. Real quick, I need to cover Switzerland and Europe. What we currently see in Europe, we have the financial hub in London, we have Frankfurt in Germany, and we have Switzerland. We see the first interest of the financial industry. So a lot of people initially started working with Ethereum, but as already mentioned, the gas fees are very high. And it's not only for NFTs and the entertainment industry, it's also for the financial industry. You cannot build a trading system on top of Ethereum at the moment. So we really see the financial industry getting an interest in Solana. And we have projects like Serum or on Cyclers doing very precise order books on Solana. And there's a lot of education, what we are currently also supporting, explaining to the investment banks and also to other traditional players what can be done on Solana. So the interest is really, it's exploding in the last couple of months. And we especially see it in London at the moment. So one of our partners, Archex, building also a fully regulated exchange. They're very interested in exploring all the possibilities in the space at the moment. And so slowly, I need to say slowly, but surely we have the financial industry looking very careful at Solana, and not only to build but also to invest, right? So we have a lot of global investors, be it from the Asian regions or Latin America, and they all want to find also custody providers. Digital assets. If you're an institutional investor, you need to have a proper custody provider. So, and I think what we currently see on the traditional side is that these regions, be it Switzerland, the UK, and Singapore as well, they're currently trying to build the infrastructure for Solana and all the SPL standards we have. So there's a tremendous interest in helping growing the Solana ecosystem in general, and we are happy to be a part of it, providing the validator nodes. So I think this is also a synergy. You have all the custody providers. We need to have it for the SPL-based tokens, plus the validations. And this is, I think, the financial industry will be one of the top industries coming very soon and very strong to the Solana ecosystem. Yeah, I think that's actually an important point to touch on. What I find interesting at the moment is this entire idea of like the race for DeFi, right? And I think that there's like, it's so interesting to kind of think about it, because like the amount of like security you need in order to run financial systems is paramount, right? To everything else, I mean, at least comparatively. And so like when you've got, like the clear answer is like, you're probably going to prioritize security over efficiency in a lot of cases, which is why Ethereum has done so well with DeFi, right? And we were just talking about this, me and a couple of friends yesterday at dinner, how like right now the entire DeFi ecosystem on top of Solana feels very similar to what Ethereum felt like maybe 4 years ago, where today if you look into a DeFi
protocols on Ethereum, they're usually based on other DeFi protocols. So if you guys have ever heard about like Gelato and some of their products like Sorbet Finance, it's all about making it easier to interact with other underlying kind of protocols like Uniswap and you know, making like, let's say an NFT, an ERC20 token, right? So that's like an example of the growing composability of DeFi within Ethereum. And I actually think that we're starting now to see the burgeoning, I guess, ideas of building a truly kind of sustainable financial infrastructure on top of Solana, right? And I think that putting the D back in DeFi, in a lot of cases, like, you know, a lot of decentralized finance is not really decentralized, even on Ethereum, right? Because even when you're talking about like the collateral, right, which sometimes is backed, you know, by dollars, like one of the most centralized currencies in the world. And so you're thinking about really, like, what is the degree of security, of decentralization that is required in order for these financial systems to basically eventuate and then grow into what we would like them to be? I think there's an insane race right now to like build gradually more decentralized infrastructure within the Solana ecosystem, so that this financial landscape can really build itself away from, you know, just one singular chain, which is you know, what we know as Ethereum today, and maybe all of the roll-ups that are going to come around. But really, I've been talking to so many different like Solana developers who have been talking to me about, yeah, we want to build more decentralized infrastructure to enable, you know, this race for DeFi. And obviously, like, when we look at the trajectory of many of these chains, I mean, especially Solana, like, there's only one way that it can go. It can go up and to the right, right? In terms of like all of the use cases and all of the demand for, you know, crypto networks and decentralized networks and smart contracts and all of these things. I think like the financial use cases are probably the most important. It's like really the golden egg that you want to reach, you know, and ultimately a lot of people are talking about the TVL, right? People are talking about the TVL. I think way before talking about the TVL, you can actually talk about the underlying infrastructure that can enable all of this TVL. And we're not talking about like $200 billion or $100 billion, you know, in DeFi. We're expecting $200 trillion at some point, right? At least if we do our job right. And so I think that a lot of that will have to come, you know, from a gradually more decentralized infrastructure. And so I think that's been a really interesting point to kind of look into, because like Ethereum was building that, you know, for the last 4 years. And now you've got this growing composability and really interesting use cases. And we're starting now to see that in Solana. And I think that, you know, this kind of bottoms-up approach of Ethereum and the top-down approach of Solana in many cases is going to meet in the middle at some point. And this is why I think the race for like DeFi is really interesting. And again, like, I believe in a multi-chain world. I think there's probably going to be a lot of value and a lot of very specific use cases going to Ethereum, going to Solana. But it's kind of like an interesting question, maybe even to bring back to everybody here. Like, how do you guys maybe see, you know, that race for DeFi? And maybe we could spend, I mean, I know we've got like 7 minutes left, so we could try to characterize or spend some time thinking about like what are the use cases that you guys are seeing, you know, across Latin America, across Asia, across Ukraine, and across Europe that maybe do fit Solana best and you know, that have been working really well. I know that you mentioned like play to earn. We mentioned a lot of like gaming stuff. I think like the last quarter had $5 billion in venture capital just go into gaming and metaverse stuff within crypto. So I don't know. I think that may be an interesting kind of question to bounce back to you.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who doesn't know, yes, it's true that Solana is fast and cheap in terms of sending information. And the main business model of Solana lies with the storage fees. And this means that some heavy project, for example, heavy NFT projects, they are not very financially efficient to be built on Solana. For example, we calculated one NFT project that had like 516,000 of tiles and stored some not very big amount of data, and it costs $2 million per year, which is huge for a startup, you know. So I think what is important when we speak about Solana is to explain to developers, explain to community that what should be a direction of developers and where they should go. For example, I don't really think the direction of Solana should be in NFT space, but I'm very into DeFi for Solana and, for example, micropayments. I think this is like the best fit, and I would be like pushing hard if Solana will be a worldwide accepted micropayments unified system that will basically revolutionize the whole thing. But the focus should be in place.
Maggie, I think this is exactly your topic, right?
Yeah.
Also the micro payment.
The focus should be in place. Like, if Solana goes to micro payments, then speak about it. And don't support all the other projects that are spreading the focus. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're mainly focused on 3 points that I think that's eventually bring a lot of traffic and can really involve the mass adoption. One is gaming. That's everybody already see it. And the other one, I think, is social. So I think that's something that we were going to see, like you see on Facebook, Meta, they changed the name. And also, like, you can see maybe eventually that's like Twitter or Telegram or those type of chatting or social media. It will involve like TikTok, right, from India, Checkling. And also, the other thing that we're doing right now is a payment and remittancy that use stablecoin. And we're going to build on Solana. Now we're building on the Ethereum, but the gas fee is just insane, And then we also work with Tron, but that's kind of like, nothing compared to Solana. So we're going to build on Solana and also Polygon maybe, but that will be really low gas fee for everyone. They can really benefit to all those people in Latin because like they really need a very high efficiency and save the cost. And so for them to do cross-border transfer, that's huge business, and that's what be a daily uses. At the same time, a payment, I think that's a huge thing that a lot of people didn't pay attention to it yet. And I also think that's a very high barrier because there's a lot of things that you need to involve with regulations. That's what I'm doing every day right now, talk to regulators all day long. Right. But I think that's the future. What I can see the picture is like, like El Salvador, for example. They announced Bitcoin as a fiat, and which means that can be legally to use a payment method. And I'm going to El Salvador right after this event for La Bitcoin. And that's very interesting. I can see like a lot of country over there in Latin, the people over there, they're unbanked first. They're not just about a banking system. And they're naturally crypto friendly. And most of people, they're easily to accept the crypto. And no matter as a payment method, or as a gift, or as a collateral, or even like compare gold. That's their thoughts, okay? They're not high trading values, but they're storage them. And also, they want to use as a fiat and to give people. And I think that's the use case that we can see. That's why we want to build wallets with the payment method. And eventually, it can easily for people to pay to people instantly. Low gas fee, maybe zero, near to zero fee, and very fast, So I think that will become kind of like Alipay and WeChat Pay in China. So people only with a phone with a QR code, you can see the image that can go anywhere. You don't need to use fiat anymore and use the wallet, and you can pay. And that can really bring a mass adoption into the industry and really can help the industry to grow because you need to educate the user to use crypto first, get used to it, what they're doing every day, and then they will start using crypto for more things, for example, like financial products, DeFi mining, and staking. I think that's too complicated for them. So what we try to do, we try to simplify those products and to mass adoption. So for them to easier to enter in this world. Yeah.
You know, I need to make a quick comment. You know, we see a European project at the moment, Credix. They are trying to bring venture debt to Latin America. So it's the mixture between DeFi and also supporting ventures in Latin America. So we already see these global kind of new projects mixing DeFi and focusing on special areas, Latin America,
we will open
emerging
the
markets.
channel.
Exactly, and this is super exciting. We have 10 seconds left.
Okay.
David?
All right, I'll just go very fast. I mean, you guys kind of summed it up, but like I think ultimately what we're very excited about is just like these high network effect platform plays where it accrues a lot of user base, and all of these users can really, bring more value back to the platform. So us as a VC, we've already started to invest in the earlier stages of Chingari, of Aurora, of Stardust, some of the projects that natively building on Solana that is taking some of these metrics to the extreme. But at the same time, China and Greater Asia, it opens the doors for a lot of these mass adoptions for these platform plays that go into like under collateralized lending, like I mentioned before, micro payments, but a means of like super fluid payments, right, where like people can be paid by the hour instead of having monthly paychecks, and that can be very easily done at a global scale. Things like prediction markets, that's essentially broken on Ethereum, right? But I think having sort of a way to be able to better sort of have these oracles that, ultimately, utilize the low gas fees to, have these more presented and be more functional on the Solana ecosystem. And lastly, like insurance, a lot of people don't really talk about it, but I think that's also going to be huge in Solana, building out a lot of these DeFi protocols. All of them are just a lot of people just aping in and taking no sort of risk measures, but I think ultimately having the right protocols, having the different tranching systems to making sure you're accurately hedging your risk and being able to provide sort of more sort of for the end retail consumers to protect their assets, right?
Yeah. So awesome. I hope we have been able to show that the emerging markets are coming, and that Solana is having a clear edge due to everything, low gas fees and everything. Solana is super attractive for the emerging markets, plus the European market. And next we have Alexis and Raj. And I do not want to spend more time here. I think they have a great announcement. So thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you.